Guys, I want to make a more upbeat video about men, celebrating men. And I guess that's been a little harder for me to do because it's been so long since I've been in a relationship, and the men I really adore are men in my personal life that I don't want to talk about because it's personal. I don't want to talk about them. I don't like to talk about um, the people in my family that I'm close to on my public channel. But I will say that the men who are like really awesome in relationships, they are happy with their lives. They've got stuff going on and they value their relationships as much as they value their careers and their personal health. And they care how the woman feels. They want the woman to feel good. They're not doormats, but anytime there's a conflict in the relationship, they work to resolve it. They want their wives or girlfriends to enjoy the relationship, and they are a team working together on things. The women feel very supported and nourished. There's playfulness, there's fun, there's very little fighting, and because the people in a healthy relationship are also happy with themselves, and the relationship is just a bonus. They work towards goals together, they have mutual goals, and yeah, I think there are many wonderful men out there. I think my videos were a little bit more slanted towards men who don't show up properly because as a single person, I get a lot of stuff from men that are trying to see me because I'm an escort and they want something for nothing. And then on the dating sites, they don't always send a message. So a lot of the men have been disappointing to me. But I think it's good to also focus on the men that are inspiring. There are definitely men who are inspiring. And what I found, I'm just going to share this with you ladies, is that one big shift for me recently has been realizing that I don't have any male friends aside from the men in my family. I don't have any male friends. And what was that about for me? And what about making male friends? I think it's really important. First, I was working on my female friendships, and now I'm working on my male friendships, like having male friends. Men who don't know that I'm a sex worker or they don't care. They just want to be friends with me. They're not escort clients, they're not coaching clients, they're actually friends. And I think that's a really healthy way to start, and I think it's good for us to see men as friends, not as people who can give us sex. Excuse me, I had to sneeze. Men who give us sex or make us feel, give us attention or give, that we are just the source and that we're friends. And when we're looking for friends, we're not susceptible to being asked for sex or being catfished on a dating site or being disappointed or anything or being led on because we're just trying to be friends. So I'm going to just suggest that anybody who has been disappointed by men, as I have been very often in my life disappointed by men, I'm going to own that and not be a victim anymore. And I am just putting out to the universe that want to attract male friends. Those are people I meet in my real life. These are not going to be people emailing me or commenting on my videos. These are going to be people I meet in my real life by going out and talking to people. That's what I mean. Friends in real life, not internet friends or subscribers or clients, but friends. Where can we meet friends? I think that going out is a great way to meet people. Going to events, meetup groups, professional kinds of events, the gym, social things like breweries are a great place where people just meet together and talk. You can talk with anyone, restaurants, the park, baseball games, that's an intention I set. I'm still looking for other ways to meet men as friends, because I think that if we start to look for men as friends, we're going to start seeing a lot more good come out of men. I think that when we're looking to men to be romance objects or sex objects, we bring that out in them, and then we can complain if they just want to fuck us and leave us, because that's all that we were looking for or were available for. I think that having sex with guys is a lot easier than being emotionally vulnerable for many people, because a lot of people are afraid of their emotions, and so having sex is a way that you can bypass your emotional intimacy and you can just fuck and feel like you're having emotional intimacy, but you don't. You think you're getting intimacy and connection, but you're really not, because you've bypassed the intimacy and gone right to the sex, which to many guys is just a way to get off or to feel like they're a good lover or something, and then they go their own way. You really can't blame the men for that. I mean, they can ask you to come over and fuck them, but you can just say no. If they push, they're not friends. And that's the value of having friends, because then you start to be like, my friends don't treat me like that. Why is this guy treating me like that? I think that most men really do want to be really good people, and they want to honor their women and their relationships. So I think it's better to start looking for that rather than complaining about the ones who are bad. Another thing I just want to say, I was on Twitter again reading about that Dallas sex worker who was murdered by one of her clients in a case of escalating violence. And a lot of the sex workers are writing on there about, now you know why we screen. Now you know why we screen. But there was a woman who was abused recently who did screen. She had ID, she had references. And in that case, again, I'm wondering, what's the real story? If the woman who was abused that had screened the guy, did she go to his house late at night? Were either of them drunk? Like, I think it's like so much BS to make us women as victims. We are not victims. We choose everything, whether it's consciously or subconsciously. We choose it. So going around saying men are bad, or we have to screen, or men are dangerous is not helping. There are cases of unpredictable violence, but the majority of women who are abused by men they know. They're shot by men they know, and I doubt that any of these men just were super nice, sweet, adoring husbands who just one day got up and said, I've had enough, bang. I think it's a case of escalating violence. They start to control you, criticize you, call you names, put you down. Then one day they give you a little smack, then a harder smack. I think that's how they build it up, and the women keep staying because of their trauma bond. But you can't blame the men for being in the trauma bond either, because they're just being who they are and the women are being who they are. So if we really want to help people, I think we have to help people learn how to be friends to each other. First, be a friend to themselves, and then be a friend to other people before they get into relationships. As to the woman who was, I put a bunch of posts on Twitter being like, these women, let's not make women out to be victims, That's not helping anyone to put us as victims. Let's talk about our trauma bonds that people have that make them stay in these relationships that have this increasing, escalating violence, and help people get over that and see that. Let's help people heal instead of making them as victims, That is not helping. And I know for a long time I felt like I was a victim to these emotionally unavailable men, that life was so unfair, and I wish I would have learned 8 years ago or 10 years ago or 20 years ago what I know now about emotional wounding and trauma bonds, because I had trauma bonds with emotionally unavailable men. It was painful, not as deadly, as what happened to some of these women. But I'm turning that around, and that's why I'm saying I have to focus on speaking positively about men and looking for men who are friends so I can start to have positive experiences with men rather than looking for young men to fuck who are going to ghost me. Or, my clients are super nice, but they just have sex with me. That's not a friendship. I'm not friends with my clients. I'm not friends with my clients. Are you friends with your clients? If you're an accountant or a lawyer or a realtor, maybe you develop some kind of friendship with some of them. But no, I'm not friends with my clients. They're not paying me to take me to dinner. Very rarely. If they were friends, they would pay me to take me to dinner, and to take me out and have me meet their family. They're not doing that. They're not asking me out. They're paying me a lot of money, but they're just paying for sex. And my coaching clients are really great. I have some great male coaching clients, but they're not friends, although I like the energy there because I actually feel like I'm helping them, which feels more friend-like than fucking the clients. My Just for Fan subscribers are men, but they just want to mostly see my body. They don't interact with me much. Like a real friend is going to be a contribution in my real life and take me out. We're going to meet each other's families, have dinner together, and cook together. Like I haven't had that in a really long time, and that's my own fault. I'm going to fucking admit it. I had a huge blind spot. And this is a personal part I'm sharing with you guys, but I do not mind sharing this at all. I had a huge blind spot with men where I saw them. I would always say men are for fucking. Women are for friendship and men are for fucking. And I knew that sounded off, but I didn't really get it. I get it now. Like some lights are coming on in here lately. Boing, I'm waking up. So if any of you are struggling in your relationships with men, maybe that's something that would help you too, is to look to have some men as friends. What I realized, and this is from my Facebook, women on my Facebook were pointing out that all these women were saying they have male friends, going back even to high school or college years, like good male friends. And I realized that me not having male friends, I was like, that's kind of weird. Why don't I have male friends? I guess all women have male friends. I didn't even realize they all had male friends. I started asking women that I know if they have male friends, and they have male friends. Like, I am the only person I know who doesn't have male friends. So that is something to look at, and focusing on the positive in men. And the more we focus on the positive in men and having friendships with men, I think the more we will experience good men in our lives. Women, we're not victims. Nobody's a victim. So if bad things keep happening, I think we have to keep going. Why? And for a long time, I couldn't see why. I just couldn't see why. I couldn't see my pattern. I couldn't see why I liked younger guys or why I was going after emotionally unavailable men. But it was all crap from my childhood that I was reliving, or meanings I'd given things. It was all subconscious patterns that I couldn't see. It's so refreshing to see them. It is like so refreshing. And if you guys want to see your own subconscious patterns, I think emotional healing and inner child work are the way to go. Thanks for watching my video.